Hi everybody, I'm Blue, and today I'm gonna take a moment and show you guys my ArtFight 2026 roster of characters. I'm gonna give a quick overview of who they are and what they're about, that way you can have a little bit of extra information if you're trying to decide which one you want to draw, and also it's an excuse to talk about my kiddos, and I'm never gonna walk away from that, so let's start. This year I chose to be on Team Tragedy. There wasn't any major thought process or decision behind it. It was mostly I was scrolling through my feed and saw a lot of teen comedy, so I chose to be Tragedy so I could attack those people and get full points, you know? I do want to point out, I attack until I inevitably hurt my shoulder or wrist. That is my priority, is to get through ArtFight without hurting myself. So if I'm not getting around to your characters or revenges or things like that, I am so sorry. Chances are I am currently in pain. I don't want to do that. It's never the goal to do that, but it seems to happen every year regardless. And I do think the three-way team split is really fun, and it's comedy, tragedy, mystery, and I conveniently already have characters themed around the comedy and tragedy masks, so I'm gonna start with those two. And they are Mikola Trueheart and V. Starting with Mikola, who is designed based around the tragedy mask, and as such has a fairly melancholic disposition. They're normally seen with a heavy sigh and a gentle smile at best. Quiet and antisocial, not really wanting to interact with people, this has somehow gained them a fan club that they are not particularly fond of, adding to this constant annoyance in their life, making their sighs heavier and heavier. Mikola is a multi-talented man, being both a knight as well as a professional glassmith, which is a trade in his particular universe where they make armor, weapons, and accessories, all with special glass. I do hope to someday do a whole backstory deep dive, but now is not the time for that. Now is the time for their counterpart, V. And goodness gracious, what is there to say about this obnoxious little snake? I adore them, probably my reigning favorite as of this particular moment. V is an assassin raised since birth to be a killer in the world, and yet they find that pretty dull. But since that's who they were raised to be, they really don't know how else to act or behave. So even if now they're playing knight and being a hero to those less fortunate, they still look at it like an assassination attempt, plotting, planning, and scheming in a way that's not exactly iconic for a virtuous knight. But on the bright side, they will take just about any job if they think it'll give them a good smile or a hearty laugh. And next up, no stranger to this channel, is the Spark and Stone trio, and I guess I'll take this opportunity to say that unfortunately this project is currently on hiatus. I just bit off something way too big to chew. I guess I don't really need to explain that now. It's on hiatus, but I still love these guys, and I'm excited for an opportunity to share them with you all again. Starting with Camillo, professional brat and makeup extraordinaire. One of my favorite things about drawing them is always just messing around with his makeup and just having fun with it. His design isn't one that I've ever been really focused on making sure it stays consistent, as long as it looks like he's having fun, or even a really, really bad day. I always love drawing him, and I always love seeing him too. Next is Jubilee, and as I was editing everybody's profile, getting everything set up for the new year with any sort of character development or anything like that, I read her original concept, and genuinely, I think I like it a lot better than her Spark and Stone setup. So we'll see. Solo adventure for Jubilee? Maybe. Not right now. But she is so cute. I love this design so much. And lastly, for the Spark and Stone trio, we have Aurum, who I swear to goodness is just allergic to me drawing them. I don't know why, but I always struggle to figure out exactly how I want them to look, which, you know, is great for a main character. But stalwart and straight-faced and usually making the same sort of a glare expression, I decided to do something different for their thumbnail art and just had them a little bit on the shy side, showing a softer bit that they don't normally care to. And it only felt appropriate to follow those three up with the duo that kinda took over the active project slot in my brain. We have Ember and Rui from the Curses series, which I have several videos up on YouTube with them in it as of right now, just sort of the creation process and how we got there. And I have another one in the works for more world building things that I've worked on since then. Regardless, here's Ember! Confident and capable, Ember has spent a lot of time alone, going about life the way that she wants to in order to pursue her own goals and interests. It's not that she doesn't have friends so much as, well, actually, you know what, she might be a little lacking on that front. But with her goals and her ambitions as her reason for moving forward, there's not really a lot of reason for it. So she's gonna keep going, because that's all she knows how to do. And of course we have her counterpart who has been sort of forced into the friendship role, that is Rui. Rui, against their own will, has been tied and forced into the darkest bits of the Curses world, and finds themselves researching and trying to understand it in a way that nobody else has. This has left them an outcast, alone and separate from everyone, until a certain bull-headed woman comes into their life, and they have to start explaining things. It's my boy! It's Jack, my Pathfinder character that I have been playing as since 2020. And with the game ongoing, I don't see him leaving ArtFight anytime soon. Especially because he is an artistic fighter. It makes sense, right? Like, he has to be here. One thing with his design that I really wish I would go back to is, you can see in the top right, the 2020 design. He was always covered in paint splotches all over his body because he was actively working on one project or another. And I know it doesn't make sense now because he's busy on the move, fighting giants, doing the things that he's gotta do, but I miss those paint splatters and I want to start incorporating them more. And I would love if you see him and you're like, this is the guy I want to draw. If you could incorporate those, that'd make me so happy. Jack tends to fill the role of the group dad, whether he thinks he's capable of such things or not. A lot of the players end up coming to him for moments of emotional distress or situations where they just really need to talk something out and get it out of their system. He's good and honest man who will try his best even if he doesn't quite understand what you're going through. An artist who fears that their darker side, their violence, is what truly defines them. He's trying to figure out exactly the kind of man that he wants to be. Next up, I have the Frozen Claw duo, who I write a lot about, and I don't share that writing anywhere, and I really don't even have any recent art of the two of them together, so thank you, Overlord Pink over on ArtFight, for drawing this little placeholder for me as we transition into Boris. Despite Boris's deep love of jewelry and exploring and sailing the seas, at the end of the day, his biggest hope is that he is remembered as a big, friendly guy with a smile that didn't make people turn and run in the opposite direction. No, Boris just wants everyone to know that he's a little bit more than the green skin and the giant physique that he has. He wants to be known as a compassionate lover who has a silly joke at hand whenever he needs one. And there's no one he wants more in this life to be happy than his partner, Tonwin von der Beek. One day as a child, on his way home from fencing practice, von der Beek discovered Boris. Buried in the snow, bloodied and beaten, no chance of survival. He decided the only thing to do was take him home to his mother. And from there, the two became steadfast friends. It was hard to find people that understood what it was like to be a monster in normal society. As the two grew older, they decided to find where they belonged in the world, and they took to the sea. As tradesmen, and then pirates, and then fugitives of the state, it was about that time where they realized they had feelings for each other. It was cumbersome and awkward at first, trying to figure out exactly what to do with these feelings, but over time they fell into place, and they are my happy little QPR pirates. Okay, minus the pirates part, they are dedicated tradesmen who only sometimes dabble in illegal acts. It's fine. Alright, and the last character I have for you, or I guess I should say the last two characters I have for you, are my servant heart duo of MC and Hero. I am not taking them off of ArtFight, but I also didn't do anything with them this year, so I didn't update their tokens. But I love them, and MC in particular has such a near and dear association with ArtFight for me. The very first year I participated, MC got the most art of all of my characters, and it was the first time that I really felt like an original character, something that I made and was uniquely mine, felt loved by someone else. And so I'm grateful to ArtFight for that, and MC is gonna be there no matter what. And there we are, there is my ArtFight roster for 2026. I'm really looking forward to this year. Again, the goal is to not hurt myself, and I'm going to try my best not to do that, but if I don't get around to revenges, I apologize. Again, it's most likely not because I don't want to. And for those of you like me, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, doing your stretches, and taking your time. This is not a rushed event. This is not anything that you need to dead sprint on. I just get too ambitious, and it's always my own fault. But we're not doing that this year. This year we are going to succeed without any injuries. And I'm gonna make videos along the whole way of any attacks that I've done or any revenges that I've received. So, until then, later!